This is the initial assessment for the trauma and medical assessments. I'm using my at-home mannequin, and my room isn't really big enough to get the camera far enough back, so you're going to lose me a little bit. But if you listen, I'll talk through the steps of what I expect you to do in your Flipgrid video. I do have my dog Jake with me, so he may wander through the scene at some point. So if you see a black dog wander through, that's just Jake saying hi. So, general impression of the patient is where I start. So I look at my patient and I look for the color of his skin that I can see. His hands look a little blue. I look for mental status. Does he look up? Does he look when I come in? And then I try to assess the work of breathing. At this point, I come in and I determine the level of consciousness. Hey, are you okay? See if he's unresponsive. Because if he's not responsive, I need to immediately check for a carotid pulse because I might need to start CPR. But he moans a little bit when I check responsiveness, so I know he has, maybe not alert, but at least has some responsiveness. My next step is to look for any major life threats. And this is primarily looking for any major bleeding. I don't see any bleeding on the body. At this point, I'm going to come and check the airway to see if it is open and clear. And it is. If needed, I could suction. And if I couldn't maintain an airway, I could consider putting in an OPA or NPA. I'm going to assess breathing. So I look for chest rise and fall. I look for any injuries to the chest. He seems to be breathing. I have good chest rise and fall, so that ventilation seemed to be adequate. I could consider oxygen at this point. He does have an altered mental status, so I will probably put him on oxygen. High concentration at this point. My partner will try to get a pulse ox, and that could guide my oxygen. Next step is C, circulation. I check a radial and carotid pulses and compare them. They're present. While I'm here, I'll check his skin condition, capillary refill, and one more time I'll scan him for any major bleeding and treat him for shock if needed. And at this point, I make a transport decision based off of his Glasgow Coma scale. He has a decreased LOC, so I'm going to consider him a priority patient. And this is what I expect you to do for your video on your Flipgrid assignment on the initial assessment as part of the trauma assessment and medical assessment.